I struggled to open the door then against the wind. My name's Barrie Crampton. Today I'm going to show you around our Range Rover Vogue. Then I'll take you for riding it, but first I'll tell you a little bit more about it. If you can hear me, it's gale force up here today. It's a 3-litre TD V6 Vogue automatic. It's 4-wheel drive, Euro 6, 2016 on a 16 plate. Has done 47,058 miles. Fuel consumption, urban 36.2 miles per gallon. Extra urban 44.1 miles per gallon. And combined is 40.9 miles per gallon. Has a 0 to 60 time of 7.4 seconds. A top speed of 130 miles an hour. Out of a 254 brake horsepower, 6-cylinder, 24-valve engine. And I want to point out, there is in the screen, you can probably just see it there, a windscreen repair, but we've priced it accordingly. It's not an MOT failure. You can't see it after a while, only kind of I'm trying to focus on it there. But that's your line of sight, you don't see it. The screens are about 900 quid. If you want a screen, then that would be extra, but we took the view that people would rather have the 900 quid and put up with that, because there's no saying that you couldn't drive up the road with a brand new windscreen and get stone chipped straight away. So long as you know. Absolutely beautiful car. My favourite car, love them. You won't get anything that drives any better than this. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Best car on the road. So we've got keyless lock, keyless entry, lock the door. As long as you've got the key on you, just touch the little button there and it'll lock. You come back to the car, as long as you've got the key on you again, hand behind the lock, the handle, and that's it, in the car. Got the lovely silver blade and the silver contrast roof as well. Looks absolutely fantastic. Multi-spoke 21-inch alloys as well. High pressure headlamp wash. Silver grille. Front parking sensors in the bumper there. And the little chin spoiler. Range Rover. Glass panoramic roof. Black window surrounds, the rear privacy glass, integrated rear tailgate spoiler, reversing camera is just there, power open, power close tailgate. When you open it with the key, this bit folds down as well, and it's, as you can see, it's, having said that, I have lost weight, but it's well strong enough to sit me on and another person. Really well built Range Rovers. They are fantastic. This has got something else as well. I'll just show you. It's got a hard rear load cover. The heavy duty rubber mat. Little button there. If you click the little button, the bottom bit goes up. If you click the top button, they both shut. Or if you close it from the key here, again, they both shut. Now, this little button there, switch on. Get your legs away from here, because it comes out with a bang. And if you catch your shin on that, you'll know about it. So, deployable tow bar too. Reversing sensors, power close, undo my jacket. So bags of room in the back here, full size seat, the headrest, you don't have to mess about with them like you do in the Range Rover Sport and just push it up. The full panoramic roof here, nice, light and airy. It's also not just the fixed glass panel, it's a tilt and slide glass panoramic roof, heavy duty rubber mats in the back. lovely, absolutely like new. You've got your own controls in the back here. It looks like it's 4-zone climate control. Heated seats on either side. Just a really nice place to be. Rear central armrest. Get that out of the way. 2 cup holders, and just there's such the ooze quality Range Rovers. They're just beautiful. The Isofix rear chassis anchor points, the 3 inertia rear belts. This is my favourite part. Let's go for a ride. Okay, I'll just tell you the service history on this car. 21st of 7th 2017 at 13,157 miles, Rydebrook Land Rover Conway. 13th of the 8th 2018, 22,821 miles, Rydebrook Land Rover Conway. 24th of 1st 2020, 35,719 miles, Rydebrook Land Rover Conway. 22nd of the 3rd 2021, 41,495 miles, Ian Barclay Motor Repairs. 7th of the 11th 2022, 46,881 miles, Ian Barclay Motor Repairs. So great service history. Has only done 47,058 miles. Those are the 2 Land Rover keys. You just have to have them somewhere on you. Get in, foot on the brake, start the car, and when we get going, it'll rise up. It drops to access height, or you can just press this button, and it lowers the vehicle down when you're getting out. Makes it easier to get out. I don't think I've set the seat, so we'll just try. So this is the old driver's position 1. Position 2. There you go. So the person who drove this before, big car, person who drove this car before was, to be honest, sat too near the steering wheel, because you're supposed to be at least 10 inches away from an airbag. Anyway, we'll get it comfortable for me. So electric seats, they're also heated. I've got them on at the moment. Let's just do the backrest and the mirrors. Let's see, just that mirror's about right. Passenger 1, yep. Steering wheel, electric. That's right for me. Now we'll set that position 1. So just click the M and 1. It's bonged, and that's it. So GoPros. For some reason today, normally they just switch off when they're hot, but today the GoPro app, that's the GoPro app there, which I control all my cameras with. There you go, it won't open. Fine yesterday, today not. Now just bear that in mind when you get one of these, or when you're thinking of getting one of these electric cars where everything's controlled from an app. Useless, absolutely useless. GoPros, supposed to be action cameras. They don't like it when it's too cold, and they don't last. I was doing a video last week, 5 minutes, overheated, and that's with a battery that big. Just imagine electric cars. Can't think of anything worse. So into drive, the car's absolutely fantastic. Going over, and I've been driving my Citroen Ami for the last 3 weeks. hardly been able to do any videos. In fact, I've not been able to do any proper videos of our cars because the weather's been too bad. By the time I get up here to do them, the car's filthy. Like the last Land Rover, the Range Rover Sport I did, it was filthy when I got here, and the car was absolutely mint when I set off. So we've got heated steering wheel as well. We'll get that on. And again, after driving the Army, you can bump. You're driving, and you're like that driving. You get in this, and you just relax and go with the flow. Beautiful thing. As I say, what fantastic value for money they are. The suspension is tremendous. This road is really rough here, and we just glide over it with a minimal of vibrations through the steering wheel and the car for the passenger and the driver. And it's we're doing 40 miles an hour, just wafting along. Got Bluetooth hands-free, Bluetooth audio streaming, so power folding door mirrors. There that goes. Oh, anyway, so back to the GoPros. This video may well be a complete dog's dinner because I haven't got my reading glasses with me. I didn't think I'd need them, so I've had to set all the GoPros and delete all the previous footage manually, and then try to set them up using the little screens instead of using my phone and just turning them to exactly where I want. I have to say, I am unbelievably fed up with GoPro, and but the good thing is, the more I have to do with GoPros, the more I'm determined to keep a petrol or diesel car, because someday you'll all be driving around in your electric car and some Russian hacker will switch it all off or crash you into the nearest wall. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Again, coming up on the motorway, way above everybody. It's just so pleasant to drive. Kind of not a care in the world in one of these. Bags of room, like your favourite armchair. So I've got the heated seats on the heated steering wheel, and just brilliant. I've got the climate set at 22 I thought I had it set at, but anyway, 21. Keep the GoPros cool so they don't go off, hopefully. But I'm toasty. The seats lovely and warm, and so is the steering wheel. If you are a tower, you've got the deployable tow bar there. Click the switch, well, two switches. You switch it on, click the switch, comes down, and the same to knock it off. Car looks an eyeful, great colour combination. I think it's Santorini Black. No, it'll be the later black, which I can't remember the name. And the silver roof. The Vogue, it's the suspension's more forgiving than the Sport, or seems to be. And according to the fuel efficiency figures there, I mean, I don't think, to be fair, you'd get that. I don't know how they do that. Well, I do. They cheat like they do with everything else, but they're so much more economical than the old shape. And as I say, I just think the value for money. And I was working out the other day, a Nissan Leaf, you could drive a Nissan Leaf, and this depreciation is so vast on EVs at the moment that it's cheaper to drive a petrol. The Jaguar, my F-Type that I was using last month, it went up £750. Well, that's a lot of petrol. Whereas a Nissan Leaf went down, gosh, what was it? Well, two grand, I think it was. A £7,000 Nissan Leaf went down to 5,000. Imagine how much fuel you could buy in that if you had an equivalent size car. So all these EV evangelists, the EV angelists, all they bang on about is how cheap it is to charge. Well, it is cheap to charge, but there's no point in having a car that's cheap to charge, that's tanking, that's dropping like a stone in cap and on Auto Trader, and that garages won't take in part exchange. You know, lots of garages these days have a no EV policy and no EV in Part X, and virtually all the stock are EVs, the new ones that they've got to sell, but they can sell new EVs and tell you that they're the best thing since sliced bread. But if you've got an EV, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, we don't take EVs in. So it must be very frustrating for the salesman at the moment. It's the whole business is laughable. I was chatting to somebody the other day, a sales manager, and they've just got a new EV launch. Now, normally, when you've got a new car coming out, you contact all your old customers, anybody you think might be in the market, and invite them in and get them bums on seats, get them to drive it, get them out in the car, show them all the new features and how economical it is, and tell you why you'd be better swapping your car and how much you'd save and all the safety features. But they're not having a launch because they don't want the people who they've sold EVs to come back and say, oh, well, how much for mine? I used to work with a guy called Steve Galloway, and he used to walk around the showroom going, how much for mine? Because that's, you'd do all this, you'd present your car, and then the customer would look at you and go, how much for mine? Especially if it was a farmer, somebody from around here. How much for mine? And then you'd think, oh no. So that's it with the EVs. Any cars, we've not sold any EVs. Any car that we've sold you, bring it back. We'd love to take it in part exchange. So in fact, this one, the chap has actually bought a new, I think he's bought a new Discovery. And the new garage weren't giving him enough for his car. We sold it him 2 years ago. And he rang us up and asked us if we want to buy it back. And yes, yes we do. We're looking for stock. We're looking for petrol and diesel stock. That's what we sell, that's what we like. And we bought it back straight away. It's beautiful. My Citroen Ami, I got it as a reset button because I normally drove around in a Range Rover Sport or Range Rover Vogue. And then you get in another car and nothing drives like this. Nothing is good. Bentley Continental, maybe, but I think I prefer a Vogue to a Bentley Continental the way it drives. Perhaps the Continental shades the Sport, but not the Vogue. So consequently, I was driving around in one of these and I'd come up in a really beautiful car, great service history, low mileage, and I'd think, ooh, it's all right, but I can't wait to get back in my Range Rover. Whereas now I'm driving around in Miami, and I jumped in an Evoque the other day, and I got in this Evoque and I thought, wow, this drives like a Rolls Royce. So all I'm trying to say is this Range Rover spoiled me for doing road tests and reviews. And if you buy a Range Rover, you won't want another car. Some idiot that sent me a message on Twitter the other day to say that EVs, all the vehicles coming in from China will be the death of Jaguar Land Rover. They won't. They'll be absolute shit. There'll be a copy and a cheap knockoff. These cameras, I think they've come from China. I think they're probably made in China, honestly. I wish Range Rover made GoPros, and I wish they were as well made, well put together, and worked as easy and intuitively as Range Rovers do. So easy, everything you do, everything's set out nice and easy. Sat Nav's dead easy to use, it's dead easy to knock off. That's the Sat Nav. So nice and easy to switch on, easy to program, destination entry. It's on, you've no trawling through the menu to try and find it. And then when you want to knock it off, all you do is, when you're near a home, you see there it's not set, but just there it would say stop directions, or you just click that and it stops. You know, you're not driving along trying to shut it up. Just fantastic. Beautiful engine. Just effortlessly up hills. We'll go through nearly 3 foot of water if you want to, without the salt water getting in the battery and blowing your car up. We've got this nice big armrest here, but you've got this one as well if you're a bit slimmer, or you've got short arms or something, you can't reach that. Otherwise, then armrest. Just lovely. The effortless power. The split tailgate. You can either just open the top if you want. If you just press the button, that opens the top part of the tailgate. There's another button to drop the bottom part. You can sit there having a picnic, a flask of coffee. The tailgate's out, protects you from the rain. Here we go. I'll just put that guy's in front on the bike. Ah, dear me. Oh, you've got sport there. That's stop start, so we'll knock stop start off. This is hill descent, so we'll knock hill descent on. Green, Range Rover going downhill there, and I just let my foot off the accelerator, and it's going downhill. I'm not touching the brake, I'm not touching the accelerator. And we can actually increase the speed with the cruise control. So we'll turn the cruise control up there, and you'll see we're starting to go faster. And when we get to the desired speed, it stops it again, slows it down. But that's it. We'll knock hill descent off and then get going. I just wanted to slow us down because there's a cyclist in front. And when I was coming up here this morning, the traffic was fairly bad coming this way. We're on a road where there's only room for one car on this side and one car on that side, and there's a cyclist in front of me. Can't overtake. I can't give him a yard to overtake, so I'm stuck behind him. Eventually there's a gap in the traffic on the other side. I overtake, the lights in front of me change, so I move over to make sure he can't get past me, which is what they usually do, come up the inside then go in front of you. What does he do? He just rides round me and goes through the traffic lights on red, which meant he's in front of me again. Fortunately, when you're in the Range Rover, stuff like that just washes over you. And I was nice and early. Now, that was before I got it. If this guy does this to me now, after I've spent nearly an hour trying to get my GoPros working, and I've got a load to do when I get back to the garage, it might be a different thing. I might not be so calm. Oh, the sound system. Meridain speakers. The sound system is awesome. Actually, I'm just going to pull up here. And here, you see there, I would never consider going down there in just a saloon car. A huge drop, right? I'm going to put it in park. I tell you what, I'm even going to switch it off just in case, because I'm going to touch my phone. So I'm switched off, I'm parked. Don't go reporting me to the police. Let's see if we can find a record, music. Let's see, line of danger zone. Oh, I'll go on, we'll do that. Oh, start the car. Into drive. I'm going to put the audio on. Here we go. Listen this.
Kiss me hard before you go.
The sound system in this is absolutely fantastic. If you like music, actually, I'm going to do a TikTok video, and I know the record I'm going to use. So I'll put a link to the TikTok video, because you can't play music on here on YouTube because it gets cut off, but you can on TikTok. So I'll just do a drive with a record on, without me speaking, which will be a blessing to a lot of you. And bear in mind that you'll be listening to it through the speakers on your phone or perhaps your TV, and it will be nowhere near as good as it is in here. Of course, the car's reasonably quiet, so that helps. But the country lanes like this, it's a joy to drive. You can use the weight of the vehicle when you're going around corners. Once you're used to it, you can just make it sway through corners. And going over the cattle grid here, normally I'd slow down because it really jars you. This just takes it in its stride. We've caught up to the cyclist. Yes, I thought I just saw a little flash down there, and just at the place where some people might have been tempted to overtake the cyclist and drive head first into that van or over the side here. It is quite funny because you're stuck behind them going uphill, and then when you've got a chance to go overtake going downhill, they pedal at about 5 miles an hour going up the hill, and then they get to the top, like now. I can't say, thank you. A considerate cyclist. I take it all back. So here we go. I'll finish the test drive there. Beautiful car. Will spoil you for life. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.